Alright guys, Fuller coming to you with another video. Shout outs to the whole LDBC. If you like this video, please feel free to like the video. And if you like the content on this page, please feel free to subscribe to this page to stay in the loop for things we have going on. Be it in boxing, be it in track and field, being in soccer, or be it in social issues that revolve around minorities. So of course, I'm gonna do a video on this thing, man. Like, people always are saying, like, yo, Fulo, why you going so hard on Canelo? Why you going so hard on Triple G, Fula? Why you going so hard on Terrence Crawford, Fula? Why you going so hard on Anthony Joshua, Fula? Because they're showing me patterns of basically being funny men, basically doing funny stuff that I'm gonna call them out on, whether you like it or not. Okay, and if someone else that may be my favorite fighter shows me patterns of funny stuff, I'm best believe I'm gonna call them out on it too. Okay, you best believe I'm gonna do it. All right, I've done it before. But anyhow, I guess there was I want to say there was a conference call with Canelo where he was answering questions, and I guess one of the questions related to him fighting Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. And so he basically dismissed Demetrius Andrade by saying that he is a boring fighter, and that he is a fighter who hasn't fought anybody, and that he is a fighter in which he wouldn't want to fight because he's into fighting in exciting fights. He's into fighting crowd-pleasing fights. So basically what this translates to, it basically translates to, I'm afraid that this guy is going to box circles around me, and basically I'm gonna have to deal with his footwork, his movement, his elusiveness, his ring IQ, his longer reach, his boxing, his ability to set traps, his counterpunching ability. And I really don't want that work. I'd rather have a guy who just sits in front of me so I can just tee off and look very skillful while I'm doing it. And this is just basically the reality of the whole situation. So for Canelo, if I were him, I would vacate the middleweight division, because you're not going to fight nobody. So you might as well give up the belts and stop holding up the division, because you holding up the division ain't doing us any good, okay? And we're not and we are trying to progress the sport, okay? We're trying to add progression to it. We're trying to have the best fight the best. You holding up that division is not gonna make that happen. So if you don't intend to fight the best, move up to light heavyweight like you're doing, stay there and fight over there, but stop hopscotching in divisions, okay? Either fight dudes or vacate your belt. And that's just point blank period, And so, he talks about that he likes to be in exciting fights. He likes to be in this, that, and the other. I'm sorry to say it, but the fight with Triple G and him, the first fight was not that exciting. The second fight wasn't really that exciting. The Floyd Mayweather fight that he had, that fight was exciting in the sense that he got washed, and it was just basically a boxing clinic. It was exciting in that regards, but it wasn't really explosively exciting. There wasn't like fighters exchanging shots and stuff like that. And the fight with Trout was not exciting. because, I mean, Trout was giving him that work. And also the fight with Laura, the only reason that was exciting is because Laura, again, put on a clinic on him and made him look stupid. You saw how wide Canelo was swinging in that fight? I mean, come on now. I mean, that's just it. Canelo, I think Canelo busted his eye open in that fight. But then, like, you know, Lars Cutman fixed that up real quick, and it was back to him boxing circles around Canelo, you know? And so, you know, he talks about how he likes to be in exciting fights, but, I mean, the fight with Daniel Jacobs was not exciting either. Sorry to say, it wasn't exciting. He looked, I mean, many people thought it was a draw. The fight with, I guess fighting like a guy like Amir Khan, who was moving up in weight, and him putting him to sleep, that was exciting. Him fighting a fight with an inactive, someone who's having personal problems and also legal troubles, and James Kirkland, him putting him down was exciting. Him fighting a guy who just literally just came forward with no kind of footwork, with no kind of head movement, with no kind of jab, with no kind of regimen at all, was just basically there to be in front for, he might as well have had signs that said, hit me, hit me. And I'm talking about Rocky Fielding. I guess that was an exciting fight. And let me just go ahead and cap it off too. You know, Canelo said that Demetrius Andrade ain't fought nobody. So Rocky Fielding fought someone? Or did Rocky Fielding only fight Callum Smith? And and that's somebody. The reality is this, man. Canelo is afraid. Canelo don't want that work. Canelo knows that, you know, that Demetrius Andrade, his skill set basically presents a lot of problems for him. Okay, it presents a lot of problems. I mean, I'm not saying that Demetrius Andrade goes in there and washes Canelo. I'm not saying that even Demetrius Andrade goes in there and beats Canelo. But what I am saying is that, since we'll probably never know, on paper, Demetrius Andrade has advantages against him, such as length, such as athleticism, such as speed, such as angles, and just a lot of different things. So, I mean, it would lean towards him winning that fight. The only way he wouldn't win that fight is, of course, if there was, you know, the funny cooking with Golden Boy judges and stuff like that. That would be his biggest threat, right? But what I'm saying is this, is that if he were to go in there and do like a boxing clinic, like Mayweather did, then the only thing they could do to him is give one scorecard where it have to be a draw for Canelo. But so this is what I'm saying, that, like, you know, Canelo, the bottom line is, this dude don't want no work. This dude's afraid of the obvious, you know. The funny thing is, he talks about how fighters are boring, but he fought some of the most boringest fighters in the past. You know, if you want to be political about it. And what I mean by boring, they're not looking for a knockout, or they're not looking to take your head off. They're looking to box you. You know, no complaints about them being boring then. But now when this dude is presented into the fray, he has a belt, all of a sudden he's boring. And it's been like this though. It's been like this forever. I mean, like even at 154, I can do the history of 154. I mean, and I'll say this until I'm blue at the face. I will say it until like until the horse is 3 times dead. But at 154, what happened was that, you know, Demetrius Andrade, I think he had the WBA belt, if I'm not mistaken. He won a vacant WBA belt for Vanes Monterosian. What happened was Canelo was his mandatory for that belt. Instead of fighting for that belt, Canelo decided and opted to fight James Kirkland instead of fighting for the belt. What happened was, due to inactivity, Demetrius Andrade got stripped of the belt, and then the title became vacant. Canelo decided that he wanted to fight for the vacant title, and because of the opponent that was available. And that guy was Liam Beefy Smith, a UK fighter. Boo Boo came out and said, either, you know, lose to Liam Smith or get your ass whooped by me. Because what happened was Demetrius Andrade was a mandatory for that belt. Canelo wins the belt, mind you, but then guess what? He drops the belt. So it's been going on like this forever. You know, Canelo knows what time it is. He doesn't want no work with these fighters that present him disadvantages. You know, he doesn't want no work. The only reason why he fought Daniel Jacobs is for the simple fact that he kind of knew that Daniel Jacobs, from the Triple G fight, how he reacts to pressure and stuff like that, and how like Daniel Jacobs like sometimes just gets out of a calm, cool, controlled element, you know, when he fights big fights. But you know, it remains to be seen how Demetrius Bugatti Andrade would react in bigger fights. But something just tells me that Bugatti, he fights to the level of his opposition. And, you know, in the past, he even said Canelo is nothing really special. And I'm pretty sure that, you know, just judging by the boxing ability and judging just by, like, his skill set, that it, you know, I won't say it will be an easy fight against Canelo, but he would, like, I would probably, since the fight's not really going to happen, but if I was a predicting man, I would say that, you know, the first maybe like 4 rounds, the first maybe 5 rounds, Canelo would do what he does, you know. But then Demetrius Andrade would just like take over and just go ahead and landslide him. That's how I feel it would go. And you know, the bottom line is that Canelo don't want no work, and you know, Canelo, I don't know what he's gonna do, but if he's not gonna fight at 160, then just drop the belts. That's all I gotta say. Drop the remaining belts you have. And then another thing about Canelo too is, let's see if he does win a belt at 175, right? Let's say if he does win that belt, he's still gonna have to worry about Lil Smoke at that weight class, because you got guys like Bivol who would want to call him out. You got guys like Marcus Brown who want that smoke. You got guys like Better Beef who will probably want that smoke, or Berterviev, one of those guys. You got guys like Ramirez at 175 who will want that smoke. You got guys like you got guys like, you know, hell, even Bottle Jack will probably want the smoke too at 175. So you will have to fight a top dog at 175 if you were gonna hang around. And that's the thing. Even when you look at 160, what he's doing at 160 at super middleweight, 168, he's doing the same things. Like, he won that rinky-dinky belt against Rocky Fielding But dudes like Cater Plant will fight you. Dudes like, Benavidez has called you out. And you don't want to fight Callum Smith? So, and even Uskatagi has said he'll take that work. So I don't know what this dude's gonna do, but in the meantime, I'm not gonna support it. In the meantime, I'm gonna call him out on this BS. And if you dislike it, don't follow my page. That's the bottom line. It's that simple. All right, but if he, I'm not gonna condone him doing this cowardly stuff. But anyhow, that's all I got for now. Full of signing out. Leave your thoughts and comments. Inshallah.